Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pardon We're Live. I'm your host, David Lilly, and it is Sunday night, 8:30, right on time, which is pretty awesome. Doing great here lately. So I'm super proud of myself. You should be proud of me as well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Again, it's Sunday night. My chair's deflating. Let me fix that real quick. Not knock anything over, guys. It's been a pretty dull week from what I gather, other than the P Diddy thing. So I figured we could talk about that, but that didn't seem, guys. I don't know anything about it, to be honest. It's not even really on my radar. But we've got a bunch of endorsements that came out, so I thought maybe we should talk about that, and maybe I'll bring up P Diddy because I think he endorsed. Even if he hasn't endorsed, we're going to talk about that. Who we think maybe who he might have endorsed. I bet you can tell me. And we're going to talk about what that means. Is the era of endorsements, celebrity endorsements, is it over? Do we really care? Why do you think they're pushing these so much? And if it was flipped on the other coin, would I be saying the same thing? Because you guys know I'm all in for the Trumpsters. So anyway, before we get started, you guys know the drill. Oh, let me throw this up there. Like and subscribe, you jabronis. This helps me out a ton. Well, helps me out, helps you out, helps everybody out. It's a wonderful thing. Everybody should watch this live stream, myself included. So I'm gonna like and subscribe it. I'm gonna practice what I preach. I'm joking. I'm not gonna like and subscribe this thing, but I will tell you, if you absolutely love this podcast and you're like, this thing is the greatest thing ever, I want to support more than just liking and subscribing and sharing and all that stuff that all the TikTokers tell you. You can go to pardonwill.com. This is my website. Got all kinds of cool stuff up here at the top tab. You can scroll down right there on the front is my book. I'm going to actually build up this front page a little bit more. But if you're like, hey, what he's got merch up here. What does that mean? What kind of merch he's got? I've got all kinds of cool shirts. And to be honest, if I were to pick a favorite, well, they're like my children. They're all my favorites. But one of my favorite ones, let's take a look at this, is this Chuck Norris guy. You can go to purchase, click on old Chucky Norris, and you got different colors. Well, this is the white V-neck, so it's just one color. White, and go large, all different kinds of sizes, and you can order yourself a Chuck Norris. I don't think it even went over there, but either way, failing all over the place tonight, guys. It's been actually a long week for me, and I'm actually kind of stoked that nothing crazy happened, because last week there was an assassination attempt, and I was like, oh my god, is it going to be like this every week? Is it going to be something new? Something's going to come out, and I'm going to have to drop all the fun topics I want to talk about, like Marvel's Agatha All Along that came out. Anything fun, I won't ever get a chance to talk about that, because crazy stuff is happening all the time. Well, this week, outside the Diddy thing, we didn't get any assassination attempts that we know about. We didn't get really any kind of crazy news. Nothing. I mean, other than the beepers, that was a news story. But you guys know that's serious stuff, and I don't like to cover serious stuff. I like to cover what the media is talking about, and what the media wants you to know, guys, is um, all your favorite people are coming out and they're uh endorsing old what's her face, Harris. Sorry, I got some stuff going on the computer, dude. All of my stuff is messing up tonight. They're out here endorsing old Harris, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. Okay, so the title of the thing, Bad Blood Bloodbath, because I think I should have covered this last time. We had other things going on, assassination attempts, whatnot, but weeks ago, Tay Tay, and I talked about this before. I was like, Tay Tay ain't come out and endorse nobody. It's because she's got that money. She don't need to. Well, I was wrong. Um, Fail on my part. She did come out. She endorsed uh old uh old Kamala Harris, and then instantly Trump came out like a day later and was like, I hate Taylor Swift. And then there was a shooter on the green. And so I don't know if those are tied together. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know much about this other shooter, except for he was, deeply embedded with the deep state, going to Ukraine, and trying to recruit people from Afghanistan to fight in Ukraine. All kinds of weird, wonky stuff. But what we haven't found out is the real important information. Was he a Taylor Swift fan? Was he a Swiftie? Was what's his Ralph guy? Was he a Swiftie? He looks like a Swiftie. I'll say that. I have a picture. You guys have probably seen his picture. Definitely looks like a Swiftie. But That doesn't matter now because the guy's in jail. But I did want to say is she's not the only one. So after the Swifty endorsement, you got all your normal ones, but they've been piling in. And then right after Swifty, we got another endorsement from another one of our favorite female icons. Let's take a look at this Morning Joe clip. 'Cause you guys know I like old Morning Joe, and see what they got to say.
Willie, you could see the joy the Clintons had, especially Hillary Clinton, in the fact that Kamala Harris had the torch passed to her, in how quickly they endorsed her. The Obamas and others took a few days and set it up right. Not that they were thinking about it like whether or not, but they prepared. The Clintons just came out as fast as they could tweet. And one of the many reasons is Hillary Clinton is a huge part of why this moment is possible. And secondly, I think a lot of people felt a lot of buyer's remorse when it comes to Trump. When you look at the things Hillary Clinton said during the debates, during her speeches, in the run up to the election of Donald Trump, she was right.
I don't know if you guys remember Russiagate, but that came right out of Hillary Clinton's campaign. She was right. She was right about him being a Russian asset. Wait, no, she wasn't. She was completely wrong. But they're not going to tell you the truth. They're going to lie to you. They're going to totally lie to you to your face. But I do love the fact that they do believe that Hillary Clinton is a beloved character, and she's so beloved she came out immediately and endorsed Kamala Harris. And so good on Hillary. Good on Hillary coming out there, because Hillary was really banking on this position. But the funny thing is, I think in retrospect now, she's probably super. She's like, I could have done a better job. This is god awful. But luckily, she didn't hold back like the Obamas. She came in and endorsed her girl Kamala. But I do love the fact that like Hillary's been down this road before. Kamala, she's a little bit new coming up against the old Trumpy boys. Hillary has been down this road and she's got a lot to say. So it's nice to have Hillary, the person who lost that election, backing up Kamala, who's probably going to lose this one too. Birds of a feather flock together. Or if you're Tim Walz, horses of a color run together, or whatever. I don't know. I didn't have that one locked and loaded. That was right off the dome, and it was awful. Anyway, let's continue to see what else Morning Mika has to say about this.
Many levels. So there's a lot there, and it all adds up to, yes, joy, this possibility that Kamala Harris, an African-American woman, can beat Donald Trump and become president of the United States.
I love that ending. What a good closer. And I'm not sure if that was a segue for Morning Joe, because I actually don't watch Morning Joe. I just steal these clips off their Twitter account. But what a good segue. Out of all the cool things you could say about Kamala and how much joy she brings to her campaign and how much joy she's going to bring to America and the world, all the cool things that you could have been like, hey, here's her track record, here's all this. The most important thing of all, and let's not forget this, Black American woman. That's probably the most important thing. Good on Mika for bringing out and highlighting the most important thing about Kamala's track record is what she looks like. Thank you, Morning Joe. You guys know I can't do this without a Morning Joe clip. Morning Joe clips are essential to this entire thing. You can't do it without them. So Clinton came out. You got Tay-Tay. You got all your old familiar cast, like your Stephen Kings, your Luke Skywalkers. He was out for Biden. Of course, he's going to be lock and step. None of these people actually think. They just, they're just in it to win it. Their vote blue, no matter who. But then we're getting some other unlikely characters coming out, and I wanted to talk about those. So, in the past few days, I know wasn't even sure I was going to talk about these endorsements. In the past few days, a very let's just say, a lot of the unions, the Teamsters, they've been a little wishy-washy. So as this poll came out and they polled all the Teamsters and were like, hey, who are you voting for? Now think, unions, Democrats are for the union. Scranton Joe loves unions. He's from a union. Everybody loves unions. I'm going to alienate all of my audience by saying I'm not for unions. I think unions are a way for complacency. I think they were great. I've said this before. They were great back in the day when your small town had one factory and everybody worked there. And so that's your only option. It ain't like that anymore. And so unions are just a waste of money if you're in one. Sure, if maybe they're not a waste of money, but I think union is just soft communism. I'll just go and say that. Either way, people are volunteer. It's not like they're forced into the unions, except for most of the time they are. But if you're not a part of a union, you don't get all the cool stuff like being told who to vote for. Well, luckily, they're not falling in lockstep anymore because the majority of I don't know if you saw this poll, the majority of the Teamsters are going for old Trumpy boys. Whoa, what's going on here? And I think it's because that whole America First MAGA movement is really looking pretty cool to all these middle class Americans who the leftists seem to completely forget because they're only focused on the insanely poor and the insanely rich. That whole middle section, Democrats can't figure that part out. I'm not even sure if they expect. I don't know if they're like, well, let's not even waste our time with middle America because that won't be around for much longer. Because guys, I hate to tell you, it seems like that middle ground, that middle class America is slowly disappearing, and then you're going to have your tops and your bottoms. Um, Definitely not a Diddy reference. You're gonna have your elites, and then you're gonna have your plebs, your serfs, and I think that's the way that the lefties want it to go. So I'm not even sure if they're even trying to attempt to get the union, the middle class people. They're not even making strides. Their best bet they can do is bring out all of your favorite cast and characters. Your Taylor Swifts, your Dick Cheneys. Middle America loves Dick Cheney. You got your Hillary Clintons, and lo and behold, do you know who the Middle America loves the most? The IRS union came out. Let's take. Oh, I don't have that clip. I got a whole different one. So I don't know if you knew this, but the IRS came out and endorsed their girl Kamala. Guys, I love this timeline. If you were like David, what would be your best bet? I mean, we're not even talking about Putin coming out and endorsing Kamala or Iran coming out and endorsing Kamala. But the most evil thing of all, the IRS. Um, and I say evil lightly because I'm sure they watch the show. Uh, but they're not liking and subscribing. I wish they would because then it just means I could, go buy a T-shirt, IRS, so I can pay you some more stuff. But either way, they came out for Kamala. I'm loving how this is turning out. You got all your warmongers, you got all your deep state, you got all of your favorite people, the IRS included, coming in. And I wanted to bring this tweet up because there was another thing that dropped. I think it was today. Yeah, today. Let me pull this up. See if this is going to work. All right. So I got this tweet, and this is a Jennifer Griffin. And it's an article from the NSL4@0.org. It says 741 former high ranking national security officials, 233 general and flag officers signed a letter endorsing Kamala Harris for president. 15 four-star generals, 10 former cabinet secretaries, 10 service secretaries, and Republican leaders who served under Trump. They all came out for Kamala, guys. They all came out for Kamala. And we even have some great comments where we got Clinton Russell at the top. Every endorsement for Kamala just makes Trump more appealing. Here. Philip Anderson, getting endorsements from the worst people isn't a good thing. There's a little graphic, probably an advertisement. These people would turn their back on her once President Trump is out. Maybe that was it. More stuff. In case you need another great reason to vote for Trump, this post would be it. Bad people endorsing you is not a good thing. So, all right. So we understand that Twitter, old Twitter's getting the point. A lot of people in the comments saying all the things that you were thinking. This doesn't look good. But the cool thing about this is like, well, these are all people that used to work on. Look at all these generals and home security people, all these people that love the war machine. They're coming out endorsing Kamala. They obviously don't trust Trump to just bomb children overseas. Like, what? I don't know if this secures your vote, but I definitely am voting for Kamala. Look, I mean, what were we going to do if there's peace? Like, that'd be awful. Guys, all the worst people are voting for Kamala, but not all the worst. Not all the worst people are voting for Kamala. And this is the ones that hurt. Like, I understand you're a Tay-Tay fan. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into the conversation about, can you separate the art from the artist? Because a lot of people are going through it. A lot of Trump supporters who love Tay-Tay are struggling. Because it's Tay-Tay. It's Taylor Swift, man. Why she got to come out and go for Kamala? What, does she not understand what it's like to not live on a jet? Swimming in money? Yeah, she doesn't. She's came from a rich family. She's not like Kamala, who came from a middle class family where everyone mowed their lawns. She don't know, and that's fair. She hates Trump because Trump's big and orange. But some of your favorite people, like your P Diddy's, man, who do you think P Diddy is going to endorse this go around? I don't know, man. It seems like he's been uh out and in lock and step with the Democrats back in Obama days, telling everybody they should vote or die, which I thought that whole campaign was pretty interesting. Hence the name of the episode, Bad Blood, Bloodbath. Guys, we've got bad blood. Um, all of our favorite people and all of our non-favorite people are coming out. Here's the one that I wanted to pull out because this brings the obscurity to a new level. I've got a clip of a music artist that everyone forgot existed. um, I don't even know her full name. I just know her as Haley from Paramore. Now, when Paramore came out, I thought the girl was really into pop punk. Paramore comes out, chick singer, pop punky, mainstream, sounded great, great band, enjoyed it. And she also seemed to have a bit of a Christian flair, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like your Reliant K's, your MXPX's, kind of in that realm. Seemed pretty cool. But she came out recently. Didn't know she was still around doing Paramore stuff. She came out recently and she had a message for all of you Paramore fans out there. So I just want you to take a look at this. Tell me what your thoughts about this.
Project 2025 is Donald Trump's playbook for controlling and punishing women, poor people, people of color, and the LGBTQ plus community. It is time for all Americans to band together and to finally defeat the Trump agenda. And the only way to do that is by confronting him at the polls. Do you want to live in a dictatorship? Well, show up and vote! Yeah!
All right, super passionate. Guys, she led off with the key words. 2024, man. She came out right off the gate telling all Trump's secrets. 2024, he's going to be dictator, guys. He hates all of you. And she says it, and you know she means it because that last little spill, like, get out and vote, woo! There's nothing says get out and vote like being yelled at by a woman. Sure, I'm sure all the white dudes for Harris did a kind of a cringe and was like, yes, honey. And they're already signed up and registered to go. But guys, Haley, old Haley, from Paramore, she has fallen into the whole same thing again. So if you're a Paramore fan, your lead singer of your favorite band is voting for Kamala, and she thinks Trump is the worst. Newsflash, guys, they don't care about you, and they absolutely believe that their endorsement means something. And you can tell me if I'm wrong about this. I personally think the age of celebrity endorsements are over because they don't really say anything anymore. Like I remember back in the day, like in the early aughts, like the 2000s, if somebody came, like I was a big pop rock fan, and even then, when old Green Day came out, and they're like, "This is awful," I was like, "Yeah, I kind of understand where they're coming from, but they kind of don't seem to have much substance." Because I took like a band like Anti-Flag and juxtaposed like their songs are about actual war crimes, and like old Green Day songs about Bush looking funny, and it just didn't make much sense. But I think the key to the story is I think we're all seeing behind the curtain in this. Especially when you start the thing off like, hey, you know what? Here's what Haley could have done. She could have came out and been like, hey, guys, I don't know how you feel about this vote thing, but we definitely need to vote. Because number one, Trump's tariff policy, you imagine if she did this at her concert, Trump's tariff policy might actually increase products at the cash register. Because if you're going to tax China for the makeup kits that you guys all buy, my Paramore makeup kits that I'm telling you guys to buy, all that's going to go up. You could start off with that, but no, she started off with the 2024 as if anybody in their audience is going to read it. Bro, she hasn't read it. So her audience, she knows her audience are dumb. They're not going to read it. And then she just listed off the word salad of the same thing we've all heard before. And that's my point, is all of these celebrities coming out. The thing that irritates me the most is the fact that they still think they're relevant. Now, they might be relevant to like a few NPCs. But, all right, guys, Haley from Paramore in the middle of a show. Like, who told her that was a great idea? Now, who told her was like, hey, when you're playing those songs, those ones that no one listens to anymore, right in between the two songs that no one listens to, you should definitely make a political statement. For what? For what? What is it? Do these people actually think that people care what they like? Did they care? Do you think? Did you guys hear any of the stats when Tay Tay came out? Old Taylor Swift came out and she endorsed Trump, and they said there was like a ton of clicks on the the Vote for Kamala website or whatever. They're like, oh, it was like 40,000 clicks, bro. She's got like 80 billion followers. She scooped up 2%. She got 2% of her followers to show up at a website and click on a button. That's not registering. I'm sure they can track register. She probably got like 20 people, 20 Swifties who weren't registered before, probably registered, and they probably couldn't get in because like 14. So even if they were like, I'm going to try to register on my, whatever 14-year-olds, what do they have now? They probably have supercomputers. I don't know. They probably got gaming computers that I've never seen before. These kids these days are crazy with their crazy tech. But either way, you get the point. None of it means anything. I don't think we take these people seriously. And I don't. And I hopefully you don't, because even if it was my favorite. So I talked about, let's be honest, all cards on the table. I did talk about Hulk Hogan coming out the RNC and endorsing Trump. I enjoyed that because I like Hulk Hogan. I think he's a great American hero, and it's fitting that he would come out and endorse Trump. But here's the truth. I was already going to vote for Trump. I already have all the thoughts I think about Trump in my head. Do I personally think some WWE fan was on the fence, some 30-year-old who's got like, I don't know, just some 35-year-old who's like, Hulk Hogan's legit, Macho Man Randy Savage, snap into the Slim Jim. That guy's on the fence. And old Hulkster comes out and he's like, you guys ready for Trump? And rips the shirt off. And that secured that guy. Maybe it does. I'm not knocking on him. I don't think people are falling for it anymore. It's nice to see when famous people have the balls to come out against the regime, especially when their entire career is built into the regime. Like, I like seeing that because it's like an anomaly. You can almost pick out all the actors who have a spine because they're either keeping their mouth shut or they're coming out and just being like, hey, I don't know if that Trump guy. Even the actors are like, yeah, I don't know about that Trump guy. Even that says a ton about who they are because everyone else in their industry, like Haley and Clinton's and the IRS, they're all for the machine. Guys, here's how you know there's two sides of this. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't care if there's a fly flying around your studio. That guy's going for my coffee. Here's the thing. Democrat, Republican, all that's to the wayside. We're done with that now. That's a dinosaur and it died, and we're burning Ford Mustangs off the fuel of that dinosaur, the Republican Democrat thing. It is clearly obvious if you haven't seen it. It's the machine versus whatever the MAGA Maha resistance thing is. Like, there's only two. Dude, the machine came out and told you, hey, IRS and all of the military commanders, Dick Cheney, all of your favorite people who love to blow people up came out, were like, vote Kamala. Every week I get on here and be like, guys, do you see this yet? Like, it's a machine. Guys, it's not, Kamala's not, they're not saying vote for Kamala because they think Kamala's going to be a good president. They're saying vote for Kamala because it's a vote for them. Like, that's it. It's the machine coming out saying, yeah, you should vote for this chick because who do you think's behind her? Do you think she's actually president? Who do you think that is? And you can say the same thing for Trump. Is Trump compromised? Is he being paid off? Maybe. But look who's behind him. Look at all the people that every time I listen to something like RFK is a great example. Not a giant fan of RFK. I've said that multiple times. I don't mind. I mean, my biggest deal with RFK is a few of he's a Democrat. And so his brain's all wonky. He's got brain worms. And so he thinks like a Democrat most of the time, except for one thing. He at least can be somewhat honest and genuine. And you can hear it in his shaky voice. That was a joke. That was an uncalled for joke. But it is true. Even throughout the voice thing, you can hear he's being somewhat genuine when he starts talking passionately about the things that he's passionate about. I don't expect RFK to be amazing on every issue. Guys, I don't expect Donald Trump to be amazing on 50% of the issues. If he can be amazing on 30, that's cool. All the other people in his cabinet, that isn't the IRS, that isn't warmongers, that isn't war criminals, that isn't the regime trying to lock up journalists and lock up grandmas. But everybody who's not that is on the Trump side. I don't know what to tell you anymore. I don't know if you can't see that this isn't Republican and Democrat, that this is the machine versus Americans, then this is where we're at. Now, why is Haley coming out? That's the big question. Like, do you think Do you think she's being genuine? Has she fallen for the trick? Is I think Taylor Swift is actually fairly smart. I don't know why she came out and did this other than maybe she's getting a paycheck. Again, I don't know. That makes no sense to me because she's getting paid $1 billion for every Swiftie that comes to her shows. So she doesn't need any more money, guys. So I don't know why she would took that endorsement. Maybe she just has a vendetta against old Trumpers. Maybe she just doesn't like. I don't know what does Taylor Swift do, and for what reason? For any point, she writes songs about bad choices. What did I expect? Shame on me for assuming she was going to stay out of this. But anyway, Haley from Paramore, is someone paying her? And if they did, was that a good choice? Should you have paid her? Maybe they paid her in some kind of failing crypto. That's the only thing I can think of. Makes no sense for her to come out unless maybe she believes it. But again, going back to the point, I don't think anyone believes it, but I definitely think the lefties have this in the bag. And there's two reasons why. And this is where I want to get to. Here's why I think it's important. I have two theories about this. We're going into theory time. Two theories. One of them I'm going to show you video. But my first theory is, you guys know I'm a bit suspicious. I'm a bit sus, like the kids talk about the 2020 election. People keep asking me, David, do you think it's stolen? I'm like, do I think so? No, I mean, yeah, I do. Who doesn't think it wasn't stolen? Now, did it stealing actually make it? That's where I'm lost on. That part I don't know anything about. Sure, people say, guys, they rig baseball games, boxing matches, they rig everything. Dude, I'm sure there's Little League team games that are rigged. You know, you can bet on literally everything with these internet things, right? These internet apps, these DraftKings. You can bet on everything. You can bet on like what your coworker's going to have for lunch that day. You can bet on literally everything. Do you going to tell me that they're not going to try to rig that thing? I'm not saying it was rigged. I'm saying they definitely tried. I'm saying I'm almost 100% guarantee somebody tried something. So yeah, do I think they successfully stole it? Seems like it, but I can't prove it. I don't plan on it because it doesn't matter. It's in the past. I'm going to do what old Walls' wife said, and I'm going to turn the page on 2020. No, 2024. I think if they were going to steal, oh my God, I don't even know if YouTube doesn't care about me. I can say whatever I want. Do I think if they were going to steal, here's what I think. If they were planning on stealing it, most Americans would know, except for fake hype. And that's what I think this whole joy campaign thing is. And all your celebrities coming out, I think they're pushing hard on the celebrity thing for multiple reasons. One of them is because Democrats love their NPC followers because they're drones. They do whatever they tell them. They just take the chip out of the back of their head and they put in a new one every time a topic changes. So, and they're easily programmable. That's basically what I'm saying. So they love those people. But what they don't like are critical thinkers. Now, how do you fool a critical thinker into thinking that maybe it was a legit election, not stolen? You definitely pretend to hype it up more than it was. And so I think all these polls coming out, and it's like, oh, everybody's loving Harris. She's up like 17 million points. It's like, all right, well, they did the same thing for Hillary, so I don't know what to believe about that. But all that aside, if I was going to, this is where I'm getting. If I was a lefty and I was going to steal an election, I would definitely make it seem like it was already in the bag from the get-go. And the only way I could do that is take whatever fake hype and pump it up. That way, come November 5th or 4th or whatever, when all of a sudden at 3 a.m, the D line skyrockets up. Everyone's like, hey, why are they blocking out the windows? We go, no, it's totally legit. Didn't you see Haley from Paramore endorse? That was guaranteed a bunch of votes. Taylor Swift, the IRS, all these war criminals. Didn't you see the hype? Everybody's super joyful. There's no way it was stolen. You're an idiot. You just think your candidate was likable. We think they're going to tell you, well, you think you're going to cross that finish line with Hulk Hogan? Think he was going to great American hero Trump right over that finish line? No. And so if I was a lefty and I was going to steal an election, I would fake hype this up. I would fake it, hype it up. I would pour all my money into whatever endorsements I can. You know, you don't have to do that for everybody. Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, he's already drunk on stage at the State of the Union or whatever, Meet the Press. He's already in the bag. And that's not including what the dirt they have on all the rest of them. Now, segue. You guys saw like I did that. This P. Diddy thing, I know nothing about, except for it does seem like it's tied to a lot of Epstein stuff. And a lot of people are making claims that P. Diddy used to throw these parties where you compromise people kind of the way Epstein did, except for Epstein would go after politicians, high-ranking politicians, and then you got your old Diddy over here, compromising Hollywood stars, right? And so over the past few days, he had Pink delete all of her tweets on Twitter and go AWOL. Megan Fox is doing something along those lines too. There's another somebody, I don't remember. There's celebrities are dropping left and right, just deleting all of their past history tied to Diddy. So if I was a lefty, I mean, I say lefty, if I was the machine and I had one guy over here with an island, make sure blackmail all the politicians so they do exactly like I say and endorse whoever I want them to endorse. Why wouldn't I have a Hollywood celebrity with mansion parties doing all kinds of weird stuff, blackmailing that whole media side and doing it too? I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying in a logical world, that does make sense. That's all I'm saying. Now, believe your own conspiracy theories. I'm not going to say this is for real. This is the Leviathan that's going to, nope, this is the October surprise. I don't know what that is yet, but I am saying things are looking kind of fishy. And if I wanted to win an election by any means necessary, this seems like a great route to do it. So we're going to see how the Diddy thing comes up. But fake hype, if I blackmailed all these Hollywood stars to endorse the candidate I want, and just to get those numbers pumped up, or make people think that she could actually win the thing, even though the majority of Americans hate where we are right now, and the past 4 years have been abysmal. And they can't lie to your face every time they tell you inflation's going down, but everything's still getting, eggs are still up, guys. I know gas has gone down because they were just like, bring this inflation thing down. And that was the first thing we saw, which is great, but no one's voting because all of a sudden their gas dropped 40 cents. That train has lost. They should have done that like a year ago, but they knew that was going to be short-lived, so they couldn't. They had to wait till, all right, so how much time can we have of cheaper gas? And they're like, well, all we have in the reserves are about 40 days. All right, so we got to wait till 40 days before the election. So release the gas. And then that's what it was. So either way, if I was an evil lefty, I would be doing exactly what I think they're doing. Now, I was talking to a friend about this. He brought up the second theory, which I think is a good theory. There's a concept that when human beings are social creatures, and when they see things moving in a certain direction, they have an instinct to want to move in that direction. I'm going to show you a clip real quick. We're going to watch this thing. It's like almost 3 minutes long. It's not terrible, so stick it out with me. We're going to watch the whole thing. I'm not going to talk about it too much. We're going to talk about it afterwards because I think this plays a giant part in all these endorsements. So let's check this out real quick.
These are anagrams. Just do the first one only. Go ahead and solve it. An anagram is rearrange the letters to form a word. Just one. Just rearrange those letters to form a word. When you're done, I need to see your hand raised. Keep going, but wait. Keep your hands up, please. Just do number one. Don't go on. Don't go on. This isn't meant to be.
All right, it's a small screen, so I am going to explain a little bit of it, especially for those who are listening on the audio later and not watching this with the screen. So basically what it is, it's a classroom, and the kids don't know this, but they're running an experiment. And so they did an anagram where basically there's 3 words that are actual words that also spell another word if you rearrange the letters. They give half the class three words to figure out, and they're very, very simple, like bat and melon or whatever. And then they give the other half of the class on the other side of the room very difficult words, ones that don't even make other words. And then they're like, all right, when you're finished, raise your hand. And so instantly half the class raises their hand while the other class is like, wait, what? How did they do that so quick? These are super difficult. So that's basically what's going on right now. So for anybody just listening, that's what we're watching. Nope. Is this going to play?
To be difficult. Okay, put your hands down. Let's just go to number 2. Don't even worry about number 1. Go to number 2. Solve that one. Again, when you're done, I want to see your hands up. Everybody's hands down. We're going to go ahead and do number 3. For number 3, rearrange the letters, and as soon as you do, go ahead and put your hand up. Here's what you need to know. You were both given 2 different lists. This side of the room was given these 3 words. And left side of the room, here you go. They were given bat. What would the word be? The second one, they were given lemon. Brian, the word? Melon. They were easy. The trick here was both of you were given the third word, which was the same. The third word was cinerama, which was American. Your first two words on this side of my classroom were not solvable. They were impossible tasks. I'm sorry. I know, but here's what we did this for. I was able to induce something called learned helplessness in the left side of the room very easily within about 5 minutes. I want you to think about what happened to you, this left side of the room, when you saw the right side of the room raising their hands because they already had the task done. What happened to you during that time? Jory?
Felt stupid.
You felt stupid? Okay.
I felt rushed.
Felt rushed? Joelle?
I was even more confused.
You're even more confused because they all got it and you were still struggling. Chelsea?
Frustrated.
Frustrated. What happened by the time you got to the third word? Because I'm here to tell you, this side of the room is not significantly more intelligent than this side of the room. That was a random assignment. So what happened to show the differences? Why did you have more of a difficult time with the third word, which was the exact same word? Brian?
My confidence was shot.
What you experienced was a term called learned helplessness. How many have heard of the term before? Let me see your hands. Learned helplessness is often used in the academic literature to mean what? Jory?
Basically, they fail once or can't do something one time, and then they apply that to everything in the future.
Boom. I thought that clip was super important and super, I just think it's fairly relevant to what we're dealing with right now. Learned helplessness, guys. For the past 8 years, just the past 8 years, all of the sane, normal people have been told they're crazy. You were absolutely crazy because you were curious about whether or not that shot was going to help you or not. You were absolutely crazy to be like, I'm not sure about all of these changes. You think we're going to go to full electric by 2030? Is climate change really the sea tide? Is it really rising when all of Oprah and Obama are buying seaside properties? What is going on here? None of this seems to make much sense, guys. Learned helplessness. They want to make sure you feel ostracized and demoralized, to make sure you feel like you're always going to fail. No, the celebrities, Hollywood, institutions, everybody with a PhD came out and told you that masks didn't work. And then a week later, the masks did. PhDs, guys. They came out, and people always still come out like, well, I don't know about, the science was unsure. Sure, but they were very authoritative in how they were talking to you as each week went down, up until the point where they were like, all these people who are not wanting to participate, they should not go into the hospital. And hey, guess what? All of those freedom protests, all these MAGA people with them being like, hey, you can't shut down my kid's school. You guys are racist and a super spreader. But over there in Michigan, when they're burning the city down, now that's noble. Learned helplessness. The entire machine is making sure that you don't think you have any play. They're making sure that you don't feel confident. They're making sure that you feel stupid. Like in that clip, they make sure you feel rushed. They make sure you feel desperate. And that thing is what I think they're doing. I think all of your celebrities coming out, all of the lies from Morning Joe and MSNBC, hell, even Fox News, all the things that they refuse to cover or at least have a decent lens, all of your favorite podcasters that seem like they're, losing. I mean, when I say whatever podcasters are not, actually, I don't know who has a favorite podcaster other than me. Keep that one to yourself. But guys, that's learned helplessness. Man, I think that's what they're doing. And if they get away with it this time, it's only going to. Do you think they're going to stop? No, it's only going to get worse. And so I think the Trump win in 2016, again, not a Trump guy, didn't vote for him then. I think that was a shift, because even before the Trumpsters came in, even before then, if you were to take this analogy and you were to pull it back, and as the culture shifts more progressive and more to the left, and the more you felt like a minority in your own thoughts of being like, maybe some of these things that they're pushing, I understand the concept, but it doesn't seem like it's a good idea. You might go all the way back to 2021 or 2022 and you're like, well, it doesn't seem like there were any weapons of mass destruction. You could go all the way back. Learned helplessness. if they make sure to make, I mean, this seems like they want people who critically think um, to feel dumb, and you're not. You're not dumb. That's pretty much what this entire podcast I have. Is it just because you have questions or you have doubts or you notice certain things, that doesn't make you dumb because Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker comes out hammered on the press docket just to call you a maggot. Like this is the great lie that you're some kind of individual who's off the rocker, or you're back in the Stone Age, or you want to live in a day and age that we no, you're just a normal person and you're just watching everything happen around you. You're watching this machine pull all the strings, getting all your Taylor Swifts, all your Stephen Kings, all your big celebrities, your major celebrities, all your white dudes for Harris to literally say the same thing, like Republicans are weird. Guys, they're sending, and you're like, well, I don't know if it's a real memo. It seems like it's an actual memo. All their talking points, the joy, the Republicans are weird. Joe Biden is super intelligent. You're just not seeing, like, all of their stuff is manufactured, like everything. Guys, the Joe Biden one is the most recent. It's the easiest one for me to point to because even on this podcast, I constantly went there, like, played Morning Joe clips where he's like, Joe Biden's cogent. He's the smartest he's ever been. And we all sat back being like, wait, what? Are they watching the same thing I'm saying? What do they see that I don't see? Bro, learned helplessness. That's all that was. It's manipulation. It's just mass psychosis. They're trying to get you to think not with your own gut, with your own instinct, with your own brain. They're just making sure you fall in line and believe what they say to believe, because look at all your favorite celebrities saying the lines. Guys, actors say the lines. I think that era is over because the cracks keep getting wider. The cracks keep getting wider. And then all your famous celebrities like Pink and Megan Fox and all these people start deleting their tweets because one of them got arrested for some whatever he got arrested for. Selling baby oil on the black market, whatever that is. I don't know. I actually don't know what the charges are. But either way, Epstein stuff, we kind of get the point. Hopefully he doesn't Epstein himself. Not because I think he should live his days long, but just because we love to get some more information, because I think all of this might be tied to an October surprise. Guys, that's the whole point of the show. Now we got bad blood because even our favorite people, they're all touting the machine stuff, and don't fall for the hopelessness thing, and don't fall for it. It's all fake. It's fake. It's fake news, guys. He wasn't wrong when he said it was fake news. They've been doing it to him for years. They've been doing it to him. They've been doing it to Alex Jones. I don't care how you feel about Alex Jones. They've been doing it to all the people who stand up and be like, hey, I think you're fake. And they're like, all right, well, I'm going to steal all your livelihood. I'm going to put all your friends in jail. I'm going to make sure the next time you even think about speaking out against us, that you're going to regret it. Learned helplessness. That's what they're going with, guys. That's what I'm going to go with. And that's what I believe. I truly believe that that's what's happening. That's what this whole fake thing is doing. Now, separating the art from the artist, I was going to talk about that. I think it's a very important topic. Can you still like Taylor Swift's music knowing that she's an evil witch? Sure. Why not? Here's the thing about art. I'm going to make this quick rank because I know you guys hate hearing me talk about art, because who cares about art? It's politics season, baby. Let's get back into the politics. Who cares about cultural stuff? We're going to move right upstream from the politics and talk about cultural stuff. Art and artists. So every piece of art an actual artist makes, intrinsically tied to it. I don't care what you say. If you buy one, this is actually a great selling point. Go to pardonable.com. If you buy any piece of my art, especially the originals, not just the prints, but especially the originals, something I leaned over and worked on for hours, there's a piece of me in there. That thing would not exist unless exactly me, not some clone of me, not some alteration multiverse Robert Downey Jr. version of me. No, actual me. That thing would not exist unless this thing, whatever is in this, the Holy Spirit, my brain, my mind, body, spirit, whatever that, all of that, the chi, I don't care what you wacky crystal believers think. All of that's into that piece of art. So can you separate the art from art? For sure. Because I'd like to think all of the best parts of me went into that artist. What you're not getting in that piece of art that you buy, what you're not getting it is my failures. You're not getting, well, you are kind of getting my failures in amalgamation, because chances are to get to that piece of art was all, I had to go through all the bad stuff I always throw away like 14 renditions of a piece of art until I finish it. I know you guys were like, "Oh, he obviously didn't even put an attempt in that piece of art and just put it out there on the internet." No, there was worse ones. I guarantee there were worse ones. But I do think artists are intrinsically involved in their art. But what I do think is, and I said this last time, and I'll say it again over. I think you can chew the meat and spit out the bones. You might be, you might not be a fan of Bill Cosby, but you might love the Bill Cosby Show. There's nothing wrong with loving Bill Cosby Show. Something weird about loving Bill Cosby. Same thing with, to be honest, I don't even know what famous songs Diddy came out with. But there might be some really, I know everyone's making fun jokes about Diddy. It's something awful, but there's got to be some kid out there or a older guy now who's like, Diddy was my jam, guys. And so they're sitting back being like, I had no idea that he was this. And it falls apart. I've had that happen to me multiple times where I thought something of somebody and I was like, I really like that person. And then them fall apart in the public eye of things I didn't even know existed. I'm like, oh my God, I would have never saw this for that person. And it's heartbreaking. But what I am trying to tell you is you can absolutely separate parts of the art away from the artist. So if you love old Diddy jams, I might not listen to it in public, but feel free to listen to it at home. I don't think you should feel bad about that. I don't think you can cancel the artist. I don't think you don't have to cancel the art. I don't see any issue with that whatsoever. That's coming from an artist, so now you have the artist card. You're allowed to listen to Taylor Swift without voting for Kamala. A ton of people do it all the time. And so it's not a big deal. Guys, I love Star Wars, even though Mark Hamill's insufferable. I still love Star Wars. I still love watching Luke Skywalker. I still dig it, especially Return of the Jedi when he turns into an awesome Jedi Knight. Like, that's my jam. Still gonna like it. All right, I was gonna talk about Agatha Harkness, Agatha All Along. I can make this super quick, so just bear with me real quick. Agatha All Along, the newest Marvel thing, guys. I love Marvel. Love me some Marvel. We're always, the best part about Marvel is they'll drop something that's like, oh my God, we're so back. And then of course, it's coming. The next thing, oh my God, it's over. And I think they might be doing it on purpose. So like, when you have to give bad news, it's called sandwiching. When you have to give someone some really bad news, you're like, hey, here's some good news. Here's the bad news. But here's the good news. It's like the way you critique people in a gentle fashion. It's like that. I think Marvel keeps doing that because we did have something awesome. Wait, what was the thing before that? Either way, it's awesome and then it's awful. Then it's awesome and it's awful and it's awesome. So it is what it is. Agatha All Along is exactly what you think it is. Let me bring up this thing real quick. I do want to share this real quick because I thought this was hilarious because it is. It was almost like I could have told you this was going to happen months before it did. All right, so we got Them Magazine. Who names Them Magazine partly seems ominous, but you also I know exactly who wrote this. Who wrote this? Matthew Rodriguez looks exactly like you think he would look. Right-wing news hosts call Agatha All Along a gay recruiting video. I don't know who the right-wing, we're going to find out here in a minute. It has been 0 days since conservative made a baseless anti-LGBT plus groomer accusations. Right-wing's coming out again. While speaking about the Agatha All Along during a Tuesday segment, panelists on the talk show, Chris Palante, everybody go like and subscribe. I don't know, the Right Squad. One of these days, I'm going to be on one of these pronoun magazines. They were like, this Pardon Will Live in his segment where he talks about Star Wars. Anyway, it would be an honor. Actually, I would love that. During Tuesday's blah, 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 blah. So Right Wing airs conservative news network Newsmax and blasted Disney Plus for its LGBT plus characters and content, according to the transcripts of Media Matters. Of course, their reliable host, Chris Palante, began the segment by calling Disney Plus a channel for children. All right. As much as I want to rag on this dumb magazine, because it deserves all the ragging, for sure. Disney Plus, you could say it's for kids. It's also not. I mean, this kind of offends me because I have Disney Plus and I like to watch my Star Wars on it. Am I a kid? Maybe. It's debatable. I understand where this right-wing host is going, but I do think that's a bit of clickbait shock value. And then John Locke says on the show the proof the Marvel isn't just for John Locke says that the show is proof that Marvel Universe isn't just for straight men anymore. Guys, it was never for Do you know how, are you telling me there was no gay dudes or gay women or straight women that liked, they were like, no, no, we hate everything Marvel, right up to what? Well, like Captain Marvel? They were like, oh, now I'm on board. This, everyone loves this stuff. And I refuse to hear that it's only straight men who've loved, I don't know, pick one, Age of Ultron. No way. There's no way. I don't believe it. But either way, this continues as the host said right before, a tired right wing. Gays are recruiting children's myth. Again, this is what the host on the show said. Again, it's the kids. We're targeting the kids, and it's the gayest thing. And it's, it's a recruiting video, I think. At least he added the I think. I'm gonna go and get rid of this. You guys aren't reading along anyway. Half of you guys can't read. I know this. Don't even try to fool me. I know you guys can't read. All the same talking points, but to be honest, dude, Agatha All Along is exactly what you think it is. It's ultra feminine. Dude, it's a show about witches. You don't think? And I get it, like it's Halloween, so like maybe it's spooky. No. No, it's like a Lifetime movie marathon show. And I say this not because of like it looks like it on the poster. I watched it, guys. Guys, this is how awful it is. I watched it and my wife didn't. I'm admitting that right now. And it is exactly what I thought it is and exactly what you think it is. Is there LGBTQ? Yeah, it's super gay. Dude, the show is gay. And I'm not talking like, oh, there's so many queer characters. There's one. That doesn't take, there could be no queer characters. Show is still absolutely gay. Absolutely gay. And I say gay in a way where it's just like, it's what you think it's a magical, mythical, it's a show about witches. How is it not going to be gay? Like, it's exactly what you think it is. And you're like, David, I'm thinking about watching this. Well, buckle up, Buttercup. And I hope you like Lifetime movies. Because it's Hocus Pocus reimagined. How many dudes out there love Hocus Pocus? Name them. Name them. You can. There's no dude. Well, white dudes for Kamala and Luke Skywalker. But that's it. Those are the only dudes who love Hocus Pocus. Maybe some gay dudes. Dave Rubin probably likes Hocus Pocus, let's be honest. But outside of that, dude, Agatha All Along is for women and gay dudes. It's what you knew this going in. The only cool part about Agatha All Along is it ties into WandaVision, and WandaVision was amazing. Come at me, bro. I loved WandaVision. Great storytelling, great thing. They actually kind of pulled that in the first episode to start off like a true crime TV show, like a NCIS kind of thing, whatever. And then, of course, it goes into your witch stuff. And again, it's exactly what you think it is. And that's all I'm going to say about it. You can, if you're like, well, David, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch this Marvel. Don't waste your time. It may get good, but I highly doubt it. I mean, it's good for what it is. If you're a chick or a gay dude and you love Marvel, you're going to love this. If you loved She-Hulk, this is your jam. Eat it up. Eat it up. Either way, nothing big. We got a few minutes left. I want to talk about having fun. I know this week, guys, I kind of phoned it in a little bit. Not super fun. Didn't have fun clips. Didn't have that many jokes. I apologize. Sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm not. It's been a very busy week, but I did want to end this episode of the podcast with a very special clip. Talking about Agatha All Along and witches. I thought maybe we'd pull one up and see what she has to say about her endorsement, since we're talking about endorsements. And guys, I'm going to say this now. It's never good to punch down. If what we do over here at Pardonable Live, we like to aim at the media and the elites and the politicians because they deserve to be made fun of because they're clowns. So this next clip is not that I know of, definitely not any of those. So use your punches sparingly. But because the only reason I'm putting on, God, this is awful. I can't lie. Guys, we're going to punch down for a hot minute. That's what we're doing on Pardonable Live. And the only reason I'm bringing this clip up because it has to do with endorsements and branding, which we talked about the joy thing. And it's also spooky season, guys. Halloween's coming around the corner. So I thought what would be better than to watch a horrifically spooky clip. And I had to see it. So I'm scarred for life. Now you have to take a look.
You know what MAGA hates the most about us? Our joy. We are the party of fun. We are the party of love, compassion, empathy. We're the party that knows how to bring up the underdog. We know how to help each other out. We know how to raise and support our middle class. They freaking hate that about us. Have you ever been to a party and there's that one person in the room that's just the light? The person that's having fun, the person that's dancing and joyful. There will always be that group and the other.
Guys, you know she's talking about herself in this. You know she's like, you ever been to a party where I'm there and someone's just the light? They walk in and they just spark up the room with joy and enthusiasm. She's talking about herself right there. Spooky season, guys. I apologize. And I was like, I'm only going to show a few seconds, but no, we're in it now. We're in the trenches. We're halfway through the scene. We're going to continue this on because you know what? We're not quitters. We don't quit. We finish it out. If you want to quit and you're like, I'm done listening to this podcast, just go to pardonable.com and buy some merch or like and subscribe and you can leave. But we're going to finish this clip out.
On the other side, oh my God, look at her, look at him, blah, 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 and try to take away that person's light. That's exactly what they are trying to do right now. They are trying to take our momentum of joy away from us. It is no coincidence that right now we are seeing extreme behaviors of hate. I mean, the former president, I hate Taylor Swift. A sheriff.
Guys, I don't know if you appreciate how awesome I am about building episodes. How do you like this nice little bow? Put it on there. We don't have to watch her anymore. I will save you. Mercy is given to those who show mercy. And so I've saved you from watching the rest of that. But how you like that nice little bow? Circle back around. Now we got bad blood. She referenced Taylor Swift because Trump hates Taylor Swift now because she endorsed old Kamala. But guys, that's who we're up against. Those are the people who watched Taylor Swift come out. That lady probably watched the news Morning Joe and was like, Hillary Clinton's out here because we're so joyful. MAGA wants to steal our joy. I don't want to steal anything from that lady. I'm happy she's happy. I'm happy she's happy. If she's not happy come November, I'll be happy still. I'll be happy still. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in to the Pardonable Live. We are here. Oh, quick note. We're here every Sunday at 8:30 on the dot sharp, most likely, except for next week. Next week, I will not be here. I know you're super sad about this. But what I will do is I will post about maybe I'll be on Monday evening. We'll do like a whole different thing. That might actually happen. But I think I will. But if you're like, hey, man, I love Pardonable Live. I can't believe it's not going to be here next Sunday. There's plenty of other lesser shows that you can watch, ones that aren't as known, like InfoWars and stuff like that. Give those guys a like and subscribe and follow. Really pump their numbers. It's hard out here. Salty Cracker, he's up and coming. I don't know if you guys know about it. He does a Sunday show, so I won't be here next week. Really get out there and support these small podcasters. They're really giving they're giving their best shot. Tell them I sent you. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. And like always, have a good week. Don't let this machine give you some learned hopelessness. You're not crazy. You're just being lied to over and over and over again, and all your favorite actors and celebrities have joined in on the bunch. And then they accuse you of you trying to steal their joy, guys. You're the one stealing their joy. How dare you? How dare you? Anyway, I love every one of you guys. Hope you have a fantastic week, and God bless.